Hello, good morning, and welcome back. This was not supposed to be today's video, but then again, is it ever supposed to be today's videos when I do one of these vlogs? No, not really. Today's video was originally intended to be a deep dive into why democracy, at least on scale, is a complete and total dumpster fire, and how most of the bad things in society that you blame on capitalism is actually downstream of representative democracy. And so I was going to deep dive into that and unpack everything around that while also diving into the technocratic system that I grew up under. It was going to be a solid and tight and very well structured piece, and I was very pumped to film it. And then around 2:30 yesterday afternoon, I just stopped caring. I fell into a deep situational depressive spiral where all I wanted to do was come home and turn off every single light in my house until it was cave dark, crawl into bed, and remain here watching old reruns of Absolutely Fabulous until the simulation ended or I did, whichever came first. So instead of a deep dive into the fails of democracy, here we are instead. I'm doing a vlog, so sorry or you're welcome, depending on your personal preference. But unfortunately, I can't just stay and rot in my bed. I mean, I could. I've done it before. In fact, I did it exactly this time, almost to the day, last year. Maybe it's seasonal, I don't know. But that resulted in Nate getting so worried about me that he ended up buying me a puppy that I had no capacity to take care of. And so I had to move in with Ashton for 3 months, and Gaspard, the said puppy, is still living there to this day because, again, I have no capacity in my shitty little one-bed flat with a backyard the size of a bee's dick. So, to avoid the possibility of another emergency animal adoption disguised as emotional support care, I'm going to get out of bed. I'm going to drive to the big town, which is like 3 hours up the road, and I'm going to look at Christmas decorations. I have not had a Christmas tree in all the years that I've been here, not once. Growing up, Christmas wasn't a thing. We had Saturnalia. That was the big December holiday that we celebrated. But every single year that I've been here, I have said to myself, this is going to be the year that I finally get a Christmas tree, and it has never materialized. But I'm telling you now, the year is nigh. Every single year I go out and I buy 4 or 5 very beautiful and very delicate Christmas decorations in preparation of my Christmas tree, and it just never comes about because I get to the stage where I go and I look at Christmas trees and I think to myself, it seems like a lot of work for what is essentially 3 weeks max of enjoyment. And then on top of that, the cherry on top of the cake is that I have nowhere in my house that is obvious for me to store a Christmas tree in between festive periods. And so I just never get around to doing it. And I'm willing to admit this because I'm a brave, independent woman. I am absolutely terrified of the thought, and it comes into my mind every time I'm standing in the aisle looking at the Christmas trees, that a huntsman spider is going to move into said Christmas tree with its little back babies, and then what am I supposed to do about it? I have no idea how I would respond to said situation. I wouldn't freak out or anything like that. I just have no idea how one goes about evicting a huntsman spider family from a Christmas tree. But not this year. No, this year I am having a Christmas tree come hell or high water. I am fully locked in and loaded. It is happening. I am fully committed, baby. We are doing this thing. I have got a box of beautiful, well, I assume beautiful, I actually don't remember what's in there, but I've got a box of unopened Christmas decorations living under my desk of mysteries over there. And today we're going to go and sniff some more out in the big town because this year I'm doing Vlogmas. What that's actually going to look like in practice? No idea. Don't have a clue because I still can't film at the hospital and my friends still don't want to appear on camera, which is completely fine, but it does severely limit the content potential that I have to make Vlogmas videos every single day when all I do is go to work and hang out with people who I can't show. But we're going to figure it out on the fly, as always. But in order to get to Vlogmas, we first must conquer today. Even if today means heading out into the world like this. Ungroomed, unwashed, no bra, and wearing the exact same clothes that I slept in. Well, I mean, I will put on a bra because I'm really fat at the moment, which means I have big tutters, and I will brush my hair because the last thing that I want to do that will ruin the fun is be stalked through every single shop that I enter like I'm the orca and their jaws. And also I will brush my teeth because Ew. Let's go. Let's leave my bed. Okay, I am back, and I did not buy a tree. Do not get it twisted. I am still fully committed to getting a tree for this year. I just don't know whether I want to get an $80 tree or I want to get an $800 tree, because I don't know if I am emotionally and spatially invested in committing to having a Christmas tree past this year. So I am reluctant to invest in one like I'm forming a lifelong relationship. That said, I am getting a Christmas tree this year come hell or high water. It is happening. It is a complete and total non-negotiable. I even know exactly where said tree is going to go. It is going to go right there in front of my Route 66 gas pump. You'll see. All will be revealed during Vlogmas, I promise. Anyway, I need to start buying Christmas presents in the very foreseeable future. Now, Ash is already sorted because he sends me his Mr. Porter wish list every single year, like the organized little style icon that he is, and he sent it to me, and I picked something, and I ordered it like way back in September because it needs time to ship. I got him a Canadian Goose jacket, which I don't know why he wanted a winter jacket at the very beginning of summer, but that's what he wanted, so that's what I got him while it was on his list. A lot of jackets were on his list. He likes jackets. What do you want me to say? If I remember, I will put a picture of said jacket up here, but if not, use your imagination. It's a jacket. What do you want me to say about it? So that's supposed to be arriving on the 27th of this month. So that's basically Ash done and dusted. I just need to invest another like $100 into buying him some small gifts and stocking stuffers. But he's basically done. Easy peasy. Nate, however, is a horse of a completely different color. So Nate and I have got this tradition that we've been doing for like the last 3-ish years, around 3 years. And it's kind of like, well, it's not kind of, it's exactly like an advent calendar, except for unhinged. So we each buy each other 25 gifts, and the first 24 gifts must be secondhand that come from either the op shop, which is a thrift shop, or a garage sale. Everything must be secondhand. Nothing can be new. Everything has to retain their original price tag that you got from wherever you brought it from, so that you can see that it is not brand new. And the fun aspect of it, the Nate aspect of it, is that before we can open said gift, the person who receives it first has to do like a little task, like a little teeny tiny task, just to, you know, make you smile. Think along the lines of looking in your mirror and saying 3 times, use as smart, use as kind, use as important. The more deranged, the better. And then on day 25, we open our real gift to each other, the one that we've actually invested time and money into procuring. And I have not even started on Nate's calendar yet. And I really need to get a move on with that, because this is not the kind of thing that you can do in a mad gift scramble in one day. It is a complete and total journey that takes weeks and weeks and weeks, unless you want your calendar to look shit, which mine inevitably will if I leave it to the last moment, because Nate is incredible at it. So I need to move tomorrow and start going to op shops and gathering all the objects that I need, which I'm not going to bring you along with me tomorrow because 1 vlog a week is more than enough, but you will definitely see the calendars come Vlogmas. At the very least, you'll see his gifts to me, which are going to be far superior than anything that I can give to him, because Nate is like a bloodhound when it comes to chaos. He can sniff out an obscure weird object in a huge warehouse-sized op shop from a mile away. It is a gift. Okay, so I brought myself dinner instead of cooked dinner because I was out all day, and she looks so good. Oh my goodness. So I got some lamb and some hummus and some Turkish bread and some tabbouleh and some just random vegetables in there to put in the Turkish bread with the lamb and the hummus. It's going to be delicious. I'm not going to eat it on camera because, frankly, nobody wants to sit there and listen and see me eat. Well, actually, you know what? There probably are some people out there who would love to see me eat because I'm a little fatty at the moment. I mean, I'm not feederism fatty. I'm actually I'm not huge in general, I'm just huge because I'm so short, but you know what? Yeah. If anyone out there wants to hit me up to pay money to watch me eat on video, feel free. I am a trisexual. I will try anything once. Okay, so I need to do something to close this video up. And usually when I am stuck for ideas on how to close a video, I naturally default to doing one of the journals. However, I'm really not in the mood to do a journal entry today. And so I thought today we might do something a little different, and I will show you something a little bit more from my culture than I usually would. This is my grimoire. This is a religious tool in my faith. It's not my original grimoire, of course. I do not have that one with me, and to be honest, I don't know where it is. But this specific one was given to me in like 2015, 2016, I don't remember, but somewhere around there, somewhere when I was still very, very new to the whole modern Western culture thing, which is actually super unusual because the grimoire is supposed to ideally remain with you, the same one, for your entire life. It's designed to be repaired and expanded and pages added to it as needed, which is exactly why it is cloth bound rather than glue bound, so that way it's designed to last and grow with you as you grow. This one is not like that because this one is relatively brand new. I've only filled out like 40 pages in it, which is really not a lot because the idea is that you're supposed to be writing in these constantly, which obviously I have not. Not in like a diary sense. This is not a journal. You're not supposed to sit down and write, dear diary, mood, apathetic in it. In fact, there's pretty much nothing of personal wealth in here at all, at least not in the sense that you're used to when you see a book like this. It's actually extremely external, which is kind of the point of everything. So one of the key tenets of the faith that I grew up in is that everything begins and ends in precisely the right time and place. And so the internal world and the external world are reflective of one another. Say that you like lavender, you would get a sprig of dried lavender and you would press it into the pages and you'd quickly write a reflection on the properties of lavender and the historic uses and the symbology. Over time, what you choose to include in the pages is supposed to mirror who you are on the inside. It's all very Circle of Life meets Hogwarts house. And I do mean that quite literally because when you are born into the faith, the priest takes one look at you and determines what spirit you embody. And sometimes it is an animal, and sometimes it is a plant. And from there, you were assigned what is called a moiety, which is a kindred alignment split by gender. And then from that point, everybody who shares your moiety has a lifelong duty of kinship towards you. It's kind of like a spiritual sorority, and some people take it very, very seriously. I personally never did, and I still don't. It's just not something that I spend a lot of time thinking about, but for the record, my moiety is a spider, which I hate, not because I hate spiders. I actually quite like spiders as long as they're not in my house, but I wish it was an orca. To be very fair, it's incredibly easy to take seriously in the beginning because when you first get your grimoire, all the pages and everybody's grimoire are exactly the same. So you open it up. I will open it up. And because we're super, super original, on the first page you have, I don't even know if I can show you this. We have a little crucifix and you're supposed to kiss it when you open it. And I would, but it would look terrible to kiss it because, we're very unique and original. So then you've got your book blessing. Like I said, these are the same in everyone's journals. So you got the book blessing, you've got the 9 noble virtues, you've got the sacred dates in the calendar, you have the serenity prayer, and then you have the moiety page. Now, you cannot change your moiety. Your moiety remains the same for the entirety of your life. But what you can do, what there is like a little cheat code, is that there's like a rune system, when you try to mod a weapon in a video game. There's a little bit like that. So what you can do is that you can say a prayer, write a prayer to one of the other moieties whose characteristics and energy that you want to embody for a little while. And apparently when I was setting up this grimoire, this new grimoire that I had, I really wanted to embody the characteristics of a bee for some reason. Why? I don't remember, so don't ask me, but I apparently just really, really wanted to be a bee. Because on my own moiety page, underneath the spider, there is a full-ass bee prayer in there that I have written out word for word. It's actually longer than the moiety itself. So apparently I just really wanted to be a bee for some reason. And like I said, I was fully committed to this for a good chunk of time. I must have received this grimoire like 9-ish months after I first got here, and I put a lot of work into it. There is everything in here that is required for the initial setup of a grimoire. Like, it is well done. And there are pages upon pages of things like plant properties and daily prayers and holiday prayers and serenity prayers and supposedly universal laws of the universe that you're supposed to follow at all times. And there is a chant in here for peace of mind. And then at one point, I must have shifted from wanting to be a bee to wanting to be a horse, because at the back of this grimoire, there is an entire horse prayer. So I must have wanted to stop flying around on my little wings and start walking around on my 4 solid legs, galloping around. But eventually I did, because I have no interest in it now. But eventually I started losing interest in this because I stopped adding pages of prayers and instead started adding pages of like book quotes that I remembered and little conversational pieces that I overheard and little doodles that I'd drawn in there. So it started looking very, very messy, which honestly, I partly blamed Russ Levesque for, because he still has his original grimoire, the one that he's had since he was a child, and it is full. And for a little while there, back in the old days, he was allowing me to copy some entries from his into mine because I didn't have access to a lot of the things that I needed to put in there. However, dressed people do not have the same religion as my people do. But for some reason, and I never understood why, like, everybody knew that they didn't have the same religion, but they made them do like this weird cultural cosplay where they had to pretend that they did, even though they didn't. And so they all had their grimoires as well. They just never took it seriously. So naturally, Drest's own grimoire is just a complete and total dumpster fire. He has got everything in there. He has got doodles that he's done over the years and just random thoughts that he's had and quotes from anywhere and everywhere. And I ended up copying a lot of them because honestly, they were a lot more interesting than a lot of the actual real stuff that I was supposed to be copying. Anyway, the reason why I've decided to pull my grimoire back out of storage is that, to no surprise to anyone who's ever watched my videos before, I am not in a good place right now, both mentally and emotionally. I am not happy about being here, and I'm not happy about having no choice in being here. I feel like I am a wounded, stuck animal, both physically, mentally, and cosmically. Like, take your pick, I feel that way. The truth is that I am somebody who is very prone to tantruming. I am someone who likes to throw myself on the ground, kicking and screaming that it's not fair. However, where I am now, there's not really much point in doing that. There's no one around me who can change anything. No one around me with any authority to fix things for me. And so it's just me pretty much just screaming into an echo of empty space. And there's not a lot that I can do to change that. And so I'm thinking that maybe it's not a terrible idea to start working on my grimoire again. There's a little piece of home here that I have. I don't have a lot of things from home here, but I do have this, so it could be a really grounding experience for me to be working on it. And I do have that enormous box of documents that Dress gave me in exchange for one of my daughter's dresses like a few months ago, and that I haven't touched at all since I received it. And so I'm thinking it might not be a bad idea to drag that out of storage and start transcribing everything that's in it that's of worth into my grimoire. The only issue with that is that I don't really know how I feel about that, because I am like the Fox Mulder of religion. I want to believe, I really truly do want to believe, I struggle with it a lot. God, X-Files, that is a terrific show if you've never watched it. It's actually one of only a handful of shows that I watched when I was still at home. Illegally, of course. I used to have one of those little portable VHS players that I used to hide under my blanket with at night and watch it in the darkness and safety of my own bedroom. God, I should rewatch that entire series very, very soon. But Not right now, because right now I am watching Parenthood for the first time, and I am surprisingly enjoying it. I did not enjoy the first 2 episodes, and they were a real struggle to get through, but everyone said just stick it through. Like, you will like it, stick it through, and I'm so glad that I did, because I am loving it. I have just started season 2, and it is chef's kiss amazing. In fact, I think I am going to go and watch it, like, right now. So anyway, this is Casey signing off for the night. As always, stay safe out there and stay weird, and maybe don't overinvest in Christmas decorations, because they do end up spending 98% of their life in a dark box under the gloomy mystery desk. So if you've got money to burn, maybe consider buying good bed sheets instead, because you spend a lot more of your life enjoying those than you do Christmas decorations. Okay? Okay, good night.